So, so the question that was raised, how to handle the situation when it arises in front of us, where theoretically we're supposed to be expressive rather than reactive. So reactivity and expressibility are two fundamentally different things. Reactivity is done at the level of the ego, and expressibility is done at the consciousness level. So, what does it mean? What is the difference between the consciousness level and the ego level? Ego is our identification with our body, our mind, our ideas, our thoughts, our beliefs, where everybody is different. At the consciousness level, we are all the same. At the body level, you can differentiate. I'm taller, I'm shorter, I'm blacker, I'm whiter, whatever. These are the differences. Very easy to spot. At the mind level, we are very different. With the way the developed mind the human being has, we have millions of thoughts, and even twins sitting right next to each other will have totally different set of frame of mind. So the differences exist at the mind and the body level. And obviously the life situations, when they do arise, everybody's reactions will be different. Because the reactions come from your deep-seated emotions, deep-seated bhav, and your personal likes and personal dislikes and whatnot. Everybody reacts based on their previous experiences. If I come across a person that I hate by a race, for example, then the next person comes from the same race, I'm going to react in a different way based on my personal experiences, right? But we have to understand that these reactions are caused by the mind, not by your consciousness. And the mind is becoming. We have to understand that we are not the mind and we are not the body. Beyond the mind and beyond the body, we are something else. It's like an empty slate. We were born with an empty slate, and everybody started writing things on us without even asking us. It was literally a rape on us. We were a kid. Oh, you're a Hindu, you're a Jain, you're a Muslim. It was just thrown on us, all the garbage which was thrown us, and it polluted our pristine existence that we came in with. Of course, our vrittis and vasanas did not help either. We were born, the fact that we were born was because of our vrittis and vasanas from the previous lives. And that's why all the children express in a different way. Every child picks up different things from the society. We can't really blame the society 100% either. The responsibility lies on our side also. It's like I always give an example. You go to a town, 5 friends go. One friend will be looking for a bar because he happens to enjoy the alcohol. One guy will be looking for temples because he's a very religious guy. Another guy will be looking for some scenery because he happens to love the nature, will be looking for hiking trails. Everybody behaves in a different way. All 5 people have come to the town with a blank mind. What the town was going to offer, we don't know. Nobody knew. But everybody explores. So everybody's directions are also kind of pre-decided, but at the same time, the sansar keeps on feeding our own vrittis and vasanas. So combination of sansar with vrittis and vasanas is all about reactivities. So the science of dharma, science of the spirituality goes way deeper than just the present life. We can say that, okay, child is born pure. Not really, because he's also born with vrittis and vasanas, which makes him impure. Yes, we should be childlike. The reason Jesus says that only the childlike people will be allowed in the kingdom of heaven is only he's referring to your inner state of childhoodness, but not a child himself. Because the only reason the children look innocent because their vrittis and vasanas haven't had a chance to be expressed, right? So proper situation come and they do get expressed. So sansar, actually we should thank that brings our vrittis and vasanas outside, which is fine. We have gone through this. But life can be a good teacher if we can learn from it. If we can learn from it, then every time we react can be a learning experience. Because we're gonna be reacting like a child is born. He's exposed to everything. The parents do not differentiate between the children, but some child will pick up music, some child will pick up sports, some child will pick up something else. Everybody will have a different avenues that they will pick up. So you can't really say that everything is based on the society, but society allows you to pull out your vrittis and vasanas, and not all vrittis and vasanas can be bad either. Through your certain vrittis, you might have picked up certain things which were good, and that would carry you towards your ultimate path. Krishna says, when that bird opens up, nobody knows. The bird for spirituality, that is the ultimate vritti, that will open up within you. When that opens, nobody knows, and a simple thing can be a factor in opening that up. It can open at the age of 4, at the age of 40, 70, or never. Unfortunately, the time the bird opens up is programmed based on what you did in your previous lives. So when that bird opens up, your desire inside, inner desire comes up for one thing that is the most important thing that will differentiate between your reactivity and expressibility, is to find your true nature. All along, for the whole life, we've been living the life of the nature that we believe we are, because we have identified ourselves with the mind and the body. And mind and the body is a storehouse of all the previous experiences, and we are utilizing those past experiences to react to the situation that has come up. We never really react, or react means act at our consciousness level. At the consciousness level, there is no action, because consciousness is a witness. The action will happen, but not as a reaction, but as your true nature. And how do you know? How do you know what is your true nature? Until you go to the basics. And the meditation allows you to go to the basics by becoming a witness. Every single thought that is coming in your head, every single action that you have performed, if you can be aware of it, there is a lot to learn. Every single step you take, if you do it with awareness, there is a lot to learn. At the end of the day, spend 20 minutes. Just 20 minutes, analyze your whole day's actions. Nothing is lost. When it comes to the spirituality, there is no end of the life. It's endless existence. So take your time, make your mistakes, consume everything that you believe you want to do, do it, but do it with awareness. Yes.
Whole day, at the end of the day, we only remember bad thing happened to us, not the good things happen to us, and mind is more towards that bad things, and we depress and go to anxiety.
The good,
Right.
the bad, and the ugly, these are our decisions of your mind.
Right.
The only time the awareness that you have is neutral. It's like you sitting in a court as a plaintiff and as a defendant, right? Plaintiff thinks that the defendant is guilty. Defendant thinks that I'm innocent. There are a lot of arguments. One believes the other, one other does not believe the other. There are a lot of arguments. There is a lawyer for everything. The judge is neutral. He's watching at the whole thing. He has nothing to do with who's going to win, who's going to lose. The neutral position, the sthit prajna state, is your judge. So awareness is all about coming out of your roles of a prosecutor or a defendant whatever may be the case, to be able to witness your life at a neutral stance. That's ultimately the awareness. So when you are hooked in the situation of good or the bad, then you are getting lost. And that's where the meditation helps. If you keep on analyzing your life based on your present state of mind, you're lost. And that's why meditation is extremely important. And I'm not saying just by analyzing at the end of the day, you're going to get all your life's answers, because you are still in the wrong identification. Meditation is all about being and not becoming. There was a story. There was a big Ram Lila came into the village, right? So it turned out to be that the last minute, the Ravan spooked out. He got the runs, the diarrhea. So Ravan could not perform. So now the show has to go on. So the organizer was in trouble. He says, let me interview some people in the village and find out who can be a good. You need an interview. Even to be a Ravan, you need to do a good job, right? Otherwise the Ram Lila will not be successful. So he interviewed so many people. Nobody would fit this and that. Finally, he found one guy. He says, yes, your personality, the way you talk, the way you behave, everything fits. He says, you're going to be my Ravan. So the Ram Lila goes on. And that day was one of the best performance. And they got such a great applause. People threw extra money at it. This was one of the best performance. So much money came. The guy says, the organizer says, I promised you 100 rupees. I'm going to give you 500. Because of your performance, really Ram Lila was so successful. So the guy started crying. He says, why are you crying? You made extra 400 rupees. Did I say something? He says, no. 10 years ago, you were in the same village and you chose me to be Ram. Because I was behaving like Ram. And in 10 years, my life has gone down the drain. From Ram, I have become Ravan. I got 500 rupees then also, and I'm getting 500 rupees now also. These are all the roles you are playing. So reactivities happen at the role level, and role is not us. Behind all the roles we have performed, not in this life, in multiple lives that we have lived so far, this is the first time you're coming across dharma, a pure dharma which speaks at the neutral level. And that level it exists in everybody. In everybody there is a Ram, in everybody there is a Ravan, but you're not a Ram and you're not a Ravan. When you start believing your roles, when you try to become Ram, you're going to hate Ravan. But within Ravan and within Ram, it's the same neutral consciousness. Consciousness does not care. So just by being a witness, ultimate manifestation that's going to come out of yourself is the manifestation of pure, total virgin consciousness, totally undifferentiated consciousness, which is the pool of infinity. And like Vijay Bhai said, it is Swayambhu, the Shiva state. You can give whatever names you give, it doesn't matter. It's what you experience within, that's priceless. So then you realize that whether you make your right hand fight with the left hand just because you like the right hand, because you're right-handed and you don't think the left hand is important until you talk to someone who is left-handed. For him, left hand is important. You think that I'm going to crush my left hand because left hand is useless. It doesn't do anything when I can write such volumes of plays and poems and all these things. The right hand is so important. You make them fight. Who loses? Same energy is running the right hand, same energy is running the left hand. You are loser if you consider yourself in the roles. You are a winner at every single point if you consider that yourself, the energy that feeds both. So that's why the kumbhak state is extremely important. Like I always mention, rechak is when you fill your lungs with the breath, you are taking the breath in. You are a doer. You are an inhaler. When you are purak, you are inhaling. Your rechak, you are exhaling. Purak is filling, rechak is exhaling, but in between you are not doing anything. So when you have no role to fulfill, kumbhak state is the most important state where you become neutral. You're not inhaling, you're not exhaling, you are in that state. In Parvati and Shiva, they have talked about in the Shiv Purana. They said there are so many things you can look around, and that's always there for you to learn. And kumbhak state is one of them, where it is a state where you are not doing anything, because when you do something, you start with an intention. You are a doer. Okay, Vijay Bhai says, take a deep breath. So, okay, go to the max. So, before you even start, you're thinking about the max, right? So, you are thrown from the present moment to the future moment. And then Vijay Bhai says, breathe out completely. You drain out your lungs. You're starting from the max, you're going to the least, right? Your eyes, your mind is continuously rotating from the present to the future, and then again from the present, that becomes the future, becomes the present, to the future again, to empty out. Your mind is oscillating. In the state of kumbhak, you're not doing anything. I always say, jumping from one boat to the other. You have
mean
started
kumbhak
from
or you mean shunya?
Kumbhak is the shunya state.
No,
where
kumbhak
you're
the
not-
air is in, so you are
I know
not, yeah.
it does. Well, there is antar kumbhak and there is a bayar kumbhak.
Okay.
So bayar
Yeah,
kumbhak
that-
is more important than antar kumbhak, because you are full, yes, but that's what it is. Either you are infinite or shunya.
Correct.
Same thing. What's the difference, right? See, antar kumbhak, it makes you full, fully expanded, and Bhaya Kumbhak, where you are totally emptied out, but you're still Shunya. Only Shunya can be Purna. In between states can never be complete. So that's why I say the reactivity happens only because of the wrong identifications. So meditation is all about changing you, what you believe. It's not about becoming, because the whole world is running towards becoming something. And becoming something opens up the doors of the future. You're missing out on the present state. So, present state is the only state where you are in a being state. But we never pay attention because our mind is continuously running to become something. So that's where we get lost. And you're gonna become what? Ram is gonna try to become Ravan. He must have. He did become Ram to Ravan. He must have gone through some vices that he became Ravan, and Ravan is trying to become Ram again. This oscillations is samsara. So reactivity happens at the wrong identification. Your ego is the cause of reactivity. When you dissolve everything, transcend and dissolving not as an action, because then again you are missing out, because your ego is telling you to dissolve. You ego won, right? Because ego says, oh, ego is bad, let's get rid of the ego. Then it becomes an action again. Then you are again exhaling or inhaling. You're not in a kumbhak state. The meditation is all about developing a state where you just become a witness. In the beginning, it's tough, it's very tough to watch your own actions going this way and that way. It's very difficult to come out of the idea of goodness and badness. What is right, what is wrong? Everything is wrong. When it comes to the kumbhak state, breathing or non-breathing, or inhaling or exhaling, both are wrong. Kumbhak state, I am here, I am sufficient. Either I am shunya or purna. It's complete. Why are you breathing in? Why are you breathing out? Why are you going to the sansar? Why are you trying to be Ram? Why are you trying to be Ravan? They all are illusions. I am the only reality. Shiva is the only reality. all sansar that comes out is illusion. Because it's an illusion built into the totality of the Shiva. Right? When you go to sleep, the dream comes out. In the dream, you become sadhu or sannyasi. How does it matter? They both are fake. And that's the reality. But you don't realize, because when you are dreaming, you're trying to become sadhu, because as Vijay Bhai said that's being a daku is no good. You should become. So those sanskaras feel in your head, and he says, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna fix my dream. Fixing the dream is the dream itself. It's an illusion. You cannot fix a dream. You cannot fix the sansar. Sansaric roles are coming to you, and you play the roles but they are not real. So the time to wake up is through the sansar. Sansar becomes a gateway to wake up, and waking up is real. That is the only thing that is real. Until then, the dream remains real. So as long as we believe sansar, we're gonna be making those mistakes. So does not happen overnight. You have to take a dip in a Ganga, and Ganga is the ultimate river of consciousness that is flowing within all of us. So even as a child, yes, we were innocent and all that, but we were still filled with vrittis and vasanas from previous lives. We have to die once. And that death comes when you should be able to transcend and realize that these are all the roles. How difficult it is for somebody who is rich to believe that this richness is nothing. How difficult it is for a learned man, a doctor, to think that I am helping so many people to transcend, that I am nothing. We are afraid to become nothing because we are holding on to something, and we are so attached to all these things that becoming empty is scary. Vivek Chudamani says that king without a kingdom and a soldier without a shield is not a king and not a soldier. You take out the kingdom from a king, take out all his rich clothes, silky garments and everything, make him stand naked, and take out the shield from a soldier, make them stand. You cannot differentiate. So we have to get to that state where identifications are a burden. That's what happens in retreat. You drop your identifications and you come out pure. The purity which is already there. It's not an achievement. You don't have to work at it to get it. You are that. At that level, you become expressive. Because you don't have to. Expression is not an effort. It's a natural state. Why is the child smiling all the time? Because he is in that state, except the vrittis and vasanas have not come up. But the same child, if you think is that great, watch him come 10 years later. From Ram, he has become Ravan. So it's tricky. This is the best time to get into that state. Manushyatva, mumukshatva, and dharmalabh. 3 rare things are happening right here. You are Manushya. You have mumukshatva. Pursue it. And dharmalabh is flowing over here freely. And I'm telling you, this is unique. You go to all these stupid temples and churches and all that. It's garbage. Because it's all corrupted. It's all happening at the role playing. Just because I put Bhagavad, clothes, I start teaching. It's all baloney. Has no value. Dharma labh is very rare. The only thing that has to come from you is mumukshatva. That you have to generate. You have to pay attention to every single thing. Meditate regularly. Someday it will open up. And that will change from reactivity, because reactivity is done by the roles. And expressibility is done by your pure inner consciousness. At expressibility levels, we all will hug. Why won't you? Because consciousness binds everybody. Consciousness does not differentiate. Why are you differentiating? So at consciousness level, there is nothing to express other than worldly love for all the animals, all the creations. Because at the Shiva level, everything belongs to Shiva. So why would he hate anybody? So That's the difference between reactivity and expressibility. The deeper you go, farther away from your mind and farther away from your body, you're getting into the realm of it's scary because it's empty, it's dark, and there is nothing to identify with. There is no shape, there is no size, but there is one thing.
It requires a lot of courage to
Lot of
plunge
courage,
into that.
lot of courage, but
You
the
have to
courage
leave many things to get there.
because you dropping everything that you know. You're dropping your spouse, you're dropping your friends, you're dropping your children, you're dropping your possessions, the beliefs that you were holding on to, that you are something. All that somethingness was fed to you by the society. And everybody's playing roles. And you believed that that was real. It's like playing cards, right? In every card has identification. This is a king of hearts. This is a queen of spades. But now, you're still playing the game and you're refusing to believe that I am not the king of spades. Now, how is the game gonna go on? And yet the game has to go on, right? But the card game will stop. Ramesh Upadhyay jato rahe. I don't believe that you can't play. So sansar is nothing but a play. It is a play of role identifications. And none of them are real. You are not what you think you are. I am not what I think I am. But we all are consciousness. And yet you still have to play so it's very tricky. So it's very tricky to keep playing the game and yet not to make it believe real. So the only way you can have it is considered as a game. And to remain as a continuous contact with your true swarup, the consciousness, is difficult. That's why we need to meditate in the beginning. But then your meditation has to spread throughout the day. Every single time you are playing the role and you are coming in with context where the role has to be played, if you remain aware that you are not that, your ego stays down. Your gains are not gains in this world because it's a game. And your losses are not losses either because it was never yours. So all these role playings, so all this internal reflection has to happen. And that every time you're reflecting on something, you're going higher and higher. And at some point you reach then, the expression just becomes a normal thing. All right? So much for today.
અત્યારે જો છોકરો રામ જેવો હોય ને તો મા બાપને ટેન્શન થઈ જાય કે